Restaurant Unstoppable. Inspire, empower, and transform the industry. Sandwich shop. So this is kind of like where we left off. That was probably the big project that you took on after I was here the last time that you decided didn't work out, right?
And that was Joe's Corner Tavern. The lesson I think that we learned off of that is don't buy somebody else's mistake. We learned a couple lessons off that, so I'll go into the first one here first, and that was don't buy somebody else's mistake. Like I said, I think that place was cursed from the get-go. Not that we did the best job, but it was just a really, really difficult community to prove something into. And sometimes communities just want a chain. Sometimes they just want an Applebee's or Roosters, if you're familiar with this area.
Did you say it was a difficult community or a different community to prove something in?
Well, it's different than what we're used to because we're used to a very central business district.
Okay.
And then it was a very hard community to prove something. You know, I mean, everything that we tried was just destroyed on Yelp and the reviews and everything. So,
don't be afraid to push that mic up too if you don't want to crouch down yet.
Yeah, sure.
Move it to you. Yeah, there we go. That's why I lug these things all over the country.
Is that better?
Oh yeah.
There we go.
So you also said when you were kind of doing your cruise at 30,000 feet that we didn't do the best at it. Knowing what you know now. You said, don't take on someone else's mistake, but what didn't you do well?
We didn't give it some businesses that I think if you're going to go into a business that is failing or that has failed and you need to turn around that ship, it's a very, very slow process.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a very specific skill set or if you don't have anyone in your company with that very specific skill set that can fix a failing restaurant, then it's going to be a really hard journey for you.
So what lessons did you learn as far as what it takes to fix a failing restaurant? Like would you have done it differently if you could do it again, aside from not doing it?
Yeah. You know what it needs, what I think we needed to do if we could have done this differently, it needs 100% of our attention 100% of the time. And what we were doing, we were trying to run a business, and then we had this other thing.
You're like, we got this.
Yeah, and we tried to use the tools.
You start to
worked.
believe your own success.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Everything we touch turns to gold, right?
Yeah.
And this is, what I call our PhD, because it cost us just about as much as a PhD. Yeah. It only cost about a year and a half, but that was what we call our PhD. That was that big mistake, that big failure that we will always look at and be like, you know what, that was our bruise. That was the thing that didn't work for us. And what lessons did we learn? And of course, the one lesson is, don't buy somebody else's mistake. I mean, if you're good at creating concepts, create another concept. And what we did is we bought somebody else's concept, and then we tried to turn the ship around when the name was tainted. We didn't change the name fast enough. We didn't put the right management team in there. It was the crew. We didn't really, we started with the crew that had already been there, and they were used to a certain way of doing things that was just the way and the reason why this place had failed. So many lessons on there. And I think the other huge lesson, one, don't buy somebody else's mistake. And the reason we got this restaurant, and this is the second lesson, right? The second lesson is if it's not a fuck yeah, it's a no. And the way we turned around that and the way we came to that, because when we got this restaurant, it wasn't because we thought, this would be an amazing addition to our portfolio. We got it because we were tired of losing deals. And over the previous 2 years before we got that, we had gone into something and we'd get to the 11th hour. We were about ready to sign. We were all excited. And then bank financing didn't go through or something like that. They pulled the lease at the last minute. We had gone through like 3 or 4 projects. So by the time this specific one came around, we were like, can we get it done?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's do it. Fuck it. Right. And that was the mistake because it wasn't like, we were excited about it. We're like, all right, finally, we just got a deal done. So we weren't even.
It was work.
Yeah, we were just tired of getting told no, and somebody said yes, and we're like, all right, cool. So, man, I tell you what, like the lessons that we will take away from that location are invaluable. Like I said, it was a PhD, and like figuratively, I guess I can't say literally because I don't have a piece of paper, but that was a huge lesson, man.
So